Oh, thank God it's not cold. Y'all, I was out. My room was so cold this morning. I'm getting all bundled up, going out to walk the dog. Thinking, dang, it's cold, it's cold. I gotta get some, because yesterday morning was freezing. Guys, I know it's early. It does seem like it's night, but it's actually 6 o'clock in the morning. Tender. A rooster. Oh. So I fell asleep really early last night. I had a long weekend. I'll share a little tidbit with y'all. I mean, it's not a tidbit, it's just, whatever. Basically, we have this older dog. Her name's Jackie. She's anywhere between 15 and 17. As a young dog, around 3 years old, I think, she was hit by a car and taken to a shelter or something, I don't know. Anyway, they saved her life. They reconstructed her back hips with metal rods and stuff like that. Hang on, girl. Mom, don't go. Mom. She's like, I'm not waiting for you, Mom. You're gonna wait for me because at least I'd go any further than that. So, anyway. She was hit by a car as a young dog. Hips reconstructed, metal rods, plates, stuff like that. My fiance Drew, his sister, and her ex ended up adopting her. Well, I think they lived in a small apartment and it just wasn't working out. So, at the time, Drew had another dog who was a very old, tiny, and blind Chihuahua who was very needy. So they decided that they were going to switch dogs. Anyway, sorry. So, Jackie went to Drew, and Lulu, who was the Chihuahua, went to his sister. Jackie lived a long life. This was, 15 years ago, or whatever, sometime between 12 and 15 years ago. So, recently she's been having in the last year, her back has started to not do too well. Her hips were having some pain. She couldn't move very well. She couldn't, stand up easily and stuff like that. She, mostly didn't do much. It's hard because, Lumps? Girl, you better stay the fuck away from that ledge. It's hard because you don't want to, you want to wait until the right time. Lately, she's been having a lot of health issues. Her hips weren't, she wasn't doing too great about moving around. And then she got this big old tumor on her ear. And we tried pretty much everything. She just kept busting it open to the point where it was so, we couldn't, even if we had kept on treating it, she would have kept, she just continually kept busting it open. So the infection just became so bad. And I noticed in her other ear, she was getting this growth inside her ear, and I think it was causing her to not be able to hear, because she obviously couldn't hear very well. Oh, look, somebody not picking up their dog food. That's nice. Or that could be a raccoon. You never know. Anyway, so she couldn't hear very well. And I think the infection from her ear had started to move into her face, because her face was really swollen. The train station. This way, loves. Come on. We gotta throw your poopy away. So basically, the infection was moving in her face and her brain. She was starting to act a little bit differently. She was just not doing well. So the other day, I went back to her room. Our house is like it's like two houses basically. You got the front part of the house, which is where me and Drew live. The older part of the house, the original part of the house. Then you got the back part of the house, which is added on. It's like double the size of the front of the house on its own. So she had a really nice large space back there where she stayed. Obviously she had her own back door. She went outside a lot. Yada yada, whatever. So the other morning, 2 mornings ago, this was Friday, I went back into that part of the house to fill up Milo's bowl of cat food. Y'all know Milo, my little orange cat. And I went back there and I tried to open the gate, and she was laying up against, Jackie was laying up against the gate, and she was having a really hard time getting up. And I couldn't help her because the type of gate that we have. Let's go back this way, Lumpy. The type of gate that we have is, it's like a handmade gate. It's really, really tall. Oh, you okay? So anyway, so she finally gets to the point where she's up on her feet. She's having trouble. She couldn't even turn around. Like, she was having trouble turning around because it was a little hallway that I was in. And she just didn't seem well. So when I finally got on the other side of the gate and I got to her, she just seemed in so much pain. Come on, love, this way. Come on. Come on, I don't want to do the full block this morning, girl. It's too early. Come on, I don't want to do the full circle this morning. It's too much for this time of day, girly. Come on. Come on, I promise we'll do it again later. We did it just last night, we'll do it again later. Okay? Anyway, so I get to her to the other side of the gate, and she's just, I go to touch her, and by touch her, I mean pet her. I go to pet her head and her neck, and she just screams bloody murder, and I'm like, okay, something is off here. I'm thinking she's in a lot of pain. I can't even touch her head anymore. So I go, you know, I sit there with her for a minute, and I'm asking her how she's doing, and, you know, whatever, and she's just not, I don't know, it was really sad. So I went to work, and I texted Drew, and I told him, you know, when you get up, this was like really early in the morning, Drew hadn't been up yet. I told him, you know, when you get up, go check on Jackie, and, you know, let me know what you think. So he did, and he agreed that she was not doing too well, and she just seemed, the problem with dogs like this is that, you know, their whole body could be just aching, and they could have tumors and infections, and they could just be the most in pain animal you've ever known, but they still want to, I don't know, she still wanted to eat. You know, I gave her this giant bowl of tuna, and I just, you know, I told her everything's gonna be okay, and it was really hard. It's hard to talk about. But, so I talked to a couple of friends of mine. I have a couple of friends who work for vets or who are in vet school, and, you know, I just kind of told them the situation and asked them their opinions on it. Because, you know, while she was still wanting to eat and go outside and all that, I just felt like she was in so much pain. Like, sorry. It's really hard to talk about. I just felt like she was in so much pain that, like, her quality of life was really not great, and I don't know, so we took her to the vet. The vet looked at her, asked what was going on, and she looked at her ears and just overall, and she didn't doubt what I was saying at all. You know, she was just nodding her head like, yeah, I see. And she told me that the first shot that they give the dog, so we went to put her down basically. She told me that the first shot they give them is just to relax them. And it's like, girl, if you go over that edge, I'm not going to be able to get you. Please be careful. No. No rolling there. So we took her to the vet. They, pretty much, they agreed that she was not doing well, and they said the first shot was just supposed to make her sleepy and, just kind of put her to sleep slowly. Usually, she said it takes about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to really kick in fully, and she gave her the first shot, and within 2 seconds she was already gone. She said that was a sign that, she must have had that infection spread to the point where she was close to death already. So it was really hard when I stayed there with her the whole time. Of course, it was really, really fucking hard. I think that's the third time I've had to do that with another dog, and it gets harder every single time. But I think we did the right thing. She was in just so much pain, she could barely, move around, so I don't know. It was tough. And we they put her in this little coffin box, and we brought her home and we buried her. Obviously we couldn't afford cremation, that's like hundreds of dollars, and it'd have been nice to have her in the house forever, but she's buried in the earth where she's meant to be, I think. I think that's where all animals are meant to end up, so I don't know, it's been a hard fucking weekend. And what's crazy about all this is that just a couple days prior to that, I found out, we had taken Munson to get some tumors removed and have them sent off. Well, I just got the call back, of course, that one of the 4 tumors was cancerous, so she does have cancer. The vet did say that he thinks he got all of it, so she would technically be in remission, but I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot. I keep telling myself no more pets, because their deaths are so traumatic. And, taking care of them medically is expensive as hell. To the point where I've now put myself in like $2,000 worth of debt just with the vet. It's a nightmare. Lumps is 10 years old. She doesn't have, but, I'm really hoping that she lives another 10 years. It's my goal. But we will see one day. And that day is going to be way no good. So, I don't know. But yeah, there's our story for the morning. Got our Jesus plant starting to bloom. There's Milo at the door. He's like, hello, why didn't you bring me out too? You ready to go in?